Hey guys, what's up? So I'm sure if you've been paying attention to music news or the hip-hop industry in general, you are aware and familiar with the recent MGK and Eminem beef. Eminem recently dropped his latest album, Kamikaze, in which he went after a lot of rappers for various reasons, one of the main people of which was MGK. After a few days, MGK dropped his response track called Rap Devil. About a week or so after that, Eminem dropped his response track, KILLSHOT. If you haven't heard both of these tracks before watching this video, I would recommend that you take the time to go listen to them. I'll put the links in the description below. For the most part, everyone I've talked to, and the general consensus on the internet seems to be that Eminem won this interaction. And I'd say I'd have to agree. That being said, I wanted to take a closer look at why that is and break each song down side by side. Full disclosure, I have been a huge Eminem fan since I was very young. I think if you listen to any of the music that I've put out on this channel, that's pretty obvious. I tried my best to come at these two very objectively and just look at them for what they were, but I do think it's worth mentioning before we get started. Without further ado, let's jump into MGK's track. MGK's track is called Rap Devil. So off the bat, he's already poking fun at Eminem for his record-breaking track, Rap God, off of the Marshall Mathers LP2. I do find the title a little edgy, which is always how MGK has kind of come off to me, but I do understand it, and that is the typical nature of diss tracks in the way that they're phrased and, you know, just kind of the way that people name them and stuff. It fits the genre.
Still can't cover up the fact your last 4 albums as bad as your selfie. Now tell me, what do you stand for? I know you can't stand yourself. Trying to be the old you so bad you stand yourself.
Okay, so here I think MGK is jabbing at M because recently Eminem took full control over his social media, and this has resulted in periodic selfies showing themselves on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, other social media. I think the idea MGK was going after is that Eminem is old and therefore he can't take a selfie right, or it takes them weird or something. I'm not really sure. And in that vein of his selfies aren't good, his latest albums or tracks are comparable or the equivalent of in that nature. He ends this little bit right here saying, I know you can't stand yourself, trying to be the old you so bad you stan yourself. This is a reference to Eminem's song Stan from the Marshall Mathers LP. In that song, one of Eminem's fans goes crazy after not getting the attention and interaction that he feels he is deserved and owed from Eminem. The fan then decides to kill Eminem. So essentially what MGK is saying here is that he is killing himself, or he should go kill himself. I'm not really sure what he's trying to imply there, but it's one of those two ideas.
The big bad bully of the rap game can't take a fucking joke.
The reason I included this line is because Eminem is notorious in the industry for being ruthless with his lyrics and imagery, and known to go after rappers he has a problem with. MGK points this out, trying to discredit some of Eminem's anger and say that it was all just a joke. It is a decent line, but I found as I broke it down and started to look at it closer, it didn't really hold up, as Eminem has stated and demonstrated and proved time and time again, anyone who drops the name of his family members in a track is going to have Eminem go after them shortly after. It's happened over and over. Plus, this same logic could be applied to MGK's response to Kamikaze. So in that regard, it ends up kind of defeating itself.
Knees weak or old age, the real Slim Shady can't stand up.
Once again, MGK references one of Eminem's biggest songs in his diss track towards Eminem. Seems a little counterproductive, but he pulled it off all right in this line. This line is really just a roundabout way of calling Eminem old, which isn't outright a diss or an insult. It's just kind of how time works.
Hello, Marshall. My name's Colson. You should go back to recovery.
Okay, finally, a cut and clear diss. MGK is pointing out that Eminem hasn't had a good album since Recovery. This is an opinion I hold, but it is a very common opinion I have heard. So I think in that regard, it's a really solid burn.
Shout out to every rapper that's up under me. Know that I'll never do you like this fuckery.
This line actually goes pretty hard. Eminem on his latest album calls out a bunch of rappers who are well under him in terms of level, which some people found a little petty and pointless. MGK is pointing that out here now, and then vowing to never do the same thing to people under him. which is pretty respectable. All in all, it's a decently clever way to scrape together some credibility in a diss track towards Eminem.
But you just a bully acting like a baby, so I gotta read you a nursery.
Obviously, MGK is calling Eminem childish here, which is somewhat in the same vein as the last line, therefore kind of reinforcing the idea. But since MGK referred to Eminem as the rap game bully earlier in the track, this line hit pretty damn hard and was well executed and crafted.
We know you get nervous, rabbit. I see mama spaghetti all over your sweater. I wish you would lose yourself in the records that you made a decade ago. They were better.
Now we are back to referencing Eminem's successes, and this one is a twofer. We got the Rabbit reference from 8 Mile, which is a semi-biographical movie about Eminem's upcoming in Detroit, and a reference to Lose Yourself, the hit song from 8 Mile and one of Eminem's biggest songs to date. This song was and still is huge. Here, MGK straight up borrows a line from the song and then quickly follows it up with saying that Eminem needs to go back to making songs on this level. This line goes over pretty well as it references arguably the most popular Eminem song in the world and then reminds the listener that this song came out quite a while ago.
Yeah, there's a difference between us. I got all of my shit without Dre producing me.
Here MGK is trying to strip Eminem of some of his credibility by saying he rode on Dr. Dre's coattails or only got to where he got to because he was working with Dre. He also implies that he got to where he got all by himself and all alone. I don't really know much about MGK or especially his come up, but I have to say I kind of doubt it because every part of the entertainment industry, almost even YouTube nowadays, you really need to know someone or bump into someone or know someone who knows someone to get your shit in front of the right person in order to get that exposure and initial blow up. That being said, it isn't impossible to do it on your own, and maybe he did. I don't know.
Alright, he fucked one rapper's girl this week. Don't make me call Kim.
I'm pretty sure most people's jaws hit the floor for various reasons the first time they heard this line, mine included. I did feel on some level that it was very low-hanging fruit, but it does still seem like a punch to the stomach anytime someone says shit like this. Total for MGK, we're looking at about 9 points in the song where a solid diss is crafted and delivered. I have to say, as far as diss tracks on Eminem, this is probably one of the better, if not best, attempts I've seen. I'm sure that some of you are familiar with the whole Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, Eminem feud that happened a while back. If you're not, you should really look into it later if you want to laugh. Now that we got MGK's track broken down, let's jump into Eminem's. Eminem's track is called KILLSHOT, which I think is a reference to MGK's line where he says he's got Eminem in the scope.
Yeah, I'll acknowledge you're the GOAT, but I'm the gunner, bitch, I got you in the scope.
That, or it's just generally about the assassination of MGK's character that's about to take place.
Wait, you just dissed me? I'm perplexed. Insult me in a line, compliment me on the next, damn.
This line, right here, at the beginning, is brutal already. This line, more or less, describes Rap Devil as a whole, where MGK is switching between dissing Eminem and appeasing him. I'm not really sure if he was trying to show some reverence while going after one of the greats, or if he was like trying to show that he had self-awareness going into this dispute, but it did ultimately end up taking the punch out of some of his lines.
Realized I forgot to call you back. Here's that autograph for your daughter. I wrote it on a starter cap.
Here, Eminem is responding to the Stan line from earlier in MGK's track, Rap Devil. He's offering an autograph to MGK's daughter, implying that she's a fan and would desire it. I would have to say that cuts pretty deep, and I would imagine it has some truth to it. MGK refers to Eminem as one of his idols in Rap Devil.
When your idols become your rivals.
So there's a decent chance his daughter has grown up listening to Eminem, if MGK has. At least until now.
How you gonna name yourself after a damn gun and have a man bun?
I think what Eminem is getting at here is normally naming yourself after a gun or a gangster is something you would do to try and intimidate people or acquire the reputation of someone who is hard. And having a man bun is typical of like hipsters or hippies who are notoriously non-confrontational people who are very easygoing. And I gotta say, as someone who rocks the man bun, I gotta agree.
Say you got me in a scope, but you grazed me.
Eminem is referencing the line where Kelly says he's got him in the scope, but adds that he only grazed him, saying the shot was bad or miscalculated, which I would have to agree with. It circles back to that first line where it really did seem like MGK was dissing at times and complimenting at others, trying to shoot Eminem but not mortally wound him, which resulted in a miscalculation and a graze.
Before you die, let's see who can out Petty who with your corny lines. Slim your roll, Al Kelly, ooh, but I'm 45 and I'm still outselling you. By 29, I had 3 albums that it blew.
Now Eminem is bringing in the data, the raw facts. He's reminding the listener that even in his recent decline, he is still very much outselling and outperforming MGK. And really sinking in the teeth by pointing out that when Eminem was MGK's age, that he had already had several hits that have blown up. He was regularly winning awards and his music was all over MTV. If you're unsure this is true, look at the view count for MGK's response to Eminem. And then look at the view count for Eminem's response to MGK. Enough said.
But you're a fucking molehill, now I'ma make a mountain out of you.
Eminem once again reminding MG Kelly that he isn't shit compared to him and calling him out for getting big for his britches. He also demonstrates some self-awareness in this line by saying that by even responding to MGK's track, he's going to blow up his spot a little bit, which is true. I listened to MGK for the first time since high school because of this interaction and this dispute. And I listened to it because I listen to Eminem every week.
Yo, Slim, your last 4 albums suck. Go back to recovery. Oh, shoot, that was 3 albums ago. What do you know? Oops. Know your facts before you come at me, little goof.
Here, he is pointing out the inconsistencies in MGK's track Rap Devil, which really strips some of the credibility. I really don't know why MGK wouldn't verify the information before dropping the track. That's honestly a rookie mistake. I will say, though, that MGK responded very fast. So it is totally possible that at one point he was aware of the inconsistency and just didn't care and found it more important to get a response out promptly.
Younger me, no, you'd have whacked me. It's funny but so true. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you.
Referencing the line where MGK implies that he is like the younger version of Eminem, only reframes it to say that he is the whack version of Eminem. I have to say, I've always felt sort of the same. This statement is epitomized in the I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you, which is just a solid burn.
Got more fans than you in your own city, little kitty, go play. Feel like I'm babysitting Lil Tay.
Here, Eminem is implying that he has more fans in MGK's hometown, Cleveland, than him. I'm not really aware of a way to verify this, but statistically, it is probable. He quickly follows up with the jab accusing MGK of being childish, much like MGK did of M in his track, and refers to him as the equivalent of Lil Tay, which I think is to say, you are of the crazy, garbage, new generation of hip-hop culture. Again, I don't really know much about MGK's work or his past, but from what I've heard, this isn't exactly the vibe I got. Regardless, it is a solid burn.
You ain't never made a list next to no Biggie, no Jay, next to Taylor Swift.
Once again, Eminem is reminding MG Kelly of the level that he is on by listing some of the biggest rappers, and then just to hit extra hard at the end, he drops Taylor Swift's name. Now, obviously, it isn't exactly surprising that he's not as big as Taylor Swift, and it isn't exactly fair to compare him to her, since Taylor Swift is a mega pop star. And pop music historically is one of the most far-reaching and lowest common denominator genres of music. Regardless, it is a mean line. Eminem is highlighting that he is on a similar level as these artists, which I think most people would agree Eminem is one for the books. And that MGK, as hard as he is and tries to present himself, doesn't even stack up to the gentle Taylor Swift.
My biggest flops are your greatest hits.
Eminem is calling attention to the fact that he is so far above MGK that his lowest hits still stand tall over MGK's top tracks. This is similar to the diss in which Eminem says that by age 29, he was already much bigger than MGK, and really just a reminder that MGK is not ready to tackle Eminem in a battle, at least politically. That he is not ready or in any sort of position to be handed off any sort of torch he feels that he should be carrying now, and that he is stepping out of line very much so by trying to shut down Eminem. This also shows some self-awareness in Eminem, in that he is aware of the gaps in sizes between their followings, and really views this interaction as him talking down to MGK, much like a parent beating the ass of a toddler who's having a tantrum in the Target store for trying to buy the most recent MGK album. You know this is an Eminem household. I will be goddamned if you play that music under my roof.
Being rich shamed by some prick using my name for clickbait in a state of bliss, cause I said his goddamn name. Now I got a cock back aim, yeah bitch, pop champagne to this. It's your moment. This is it, as big as you're gonna get, so enjoy it. Had to give you a career to destroy it.
Here Eminem calls out that undoubtedly one of MGK's motives in this whole response anyway was to just generate some traffic his way in the hopes of exposure and more discovery, which is typical of any entertainment feud. I will say though, you have to be careful when you go about those sorts of things, because MGK has undoubtedly generated lots of traffic his way, myself included, and he has definitely probably seen an increase in sales or more subscribers or views or downloads of his music, but he has also pretty much written himself off to a big chunk of Eminem fans, which has already been established. Eminem's fan base is much more far-reaching than MGK's. This again demonstrates self-awareness in Eminem as he drops the line, "Had to give you a career to destroy it," which hits so hard I'm pretty sure MGK got knocked out when he heard it. Someone go check on him.
Had enough of this tatted up mumble rapper. How the fucking him and I battle? He'll have to fuck him in my flannel. I'll give him my sandals, cause he knows long as I'm shady, he's gonna have to live in my shadow. Exhausting, letting off on my offspring.
Eminem once again questioning the point of even responding to MGK since he is so below him. It reminds MGK that as a white rapper, he is always going to be compared to Eminem. And that Eminem was one of the main white rappers who paved the way for a lot of the artists we see in the industry today. The last line highlights this by implying that MGK is the result of Eminem, or that he was inspired by Eminem on his upcome. This point is verified in MGK's diss track to Eminem, where he says the line, "When your idols become your rivals," and the demonstration of his familiarity of Eminem's works and lyrics throughout Rap Devil.
Your red sweater, your black leather, you dress better, I rap better. That a death threater, a love letter. Little white toothpick thinks it's over a pick. I just don't like you, prick. Thanks for dissing me. Now I had an excuse on the mic to write, not a light. But really, I don't care who's on the right. But you're losing the fight you pick. Who else wanted Kells? Attempt fails. Button L's, fucking nails. In these coffins as soft as cottonelle. Kill shot, I will not fail. I'm with the doc still, but this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills.
Calling out that Eminem straight up raps better in a backhanded compliment. This line works because of the way the rest of the song has been written and the way it was delivered. It's less of a flip-flop vibe and more of a extend olive branch psych vibe. He then calls out MGK's flip-flop style in Rap Devil with the next line, "Is that a death threat or a love letter?" which adds some punch to the line before given its nature. Once again displaying a high level of awareness in Eminem's writing. He then confesses to just not liking MGK. As an artist or a person, I'm not sure, but just generally not liking him. He then thanks him for the opportunity to cut all associations between the two. A very cold-blooded statement. The next part, Eminem calls out to anyone else who has a problem or wants to go at him, showing that he's bored with MGK mid-response. This again shows some self-awareness, as it makes it seem like Eminem is just playing or fucking around by even responding to MGK, and that he's looking for a real challenge from someone else out there. Eminem admits that he's still working with Dr. Dre, at this point one of his closest friends for decades, and says that the only way that MG Kelly could get support or encouragement from people around him, like his boss, record label manager, manager, producer, whoever, is if they were on drugs.
I'm sick of you being whack and still using that motherfucking auto-tune, so let's talk about it. I'm sick of your mumble rap mouth, need to get the cock about it before we can even talk about it. I'm sick of your blonde hair and earrings, just cause you look in the mirror and think that you're Marshall Mathers. Don't mean you are and you're not about it, so just leave my dick in your mouth and keep my daughter outie.
Here Eminem borrows MGK's little chorus thing.
I'm sick of them sweatsuits and them corny hats, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being rich and you still mad, let's talk about it. Both of us single dads from the Midwest, we can talk about it. Or we can get gully, I'll size up your body and put some white chalk around it.
Which I enjoyed because it's reminiscent of that older Eminem style where he would just straight up mock people on his album and not give a fuck if it came off as childish or unclever or whatever. He just did it just cause fuck you. He throws the auto-tune in MG Kelly's face and groups him with the mumble rappers. I don't really think MGK is a mumble style rapper, but again, not super familiar with his work. Eminem also points out how MG Kelly seems to see himself as the new and improved Eminem or Eminem 2.0, but he is in fact a very separate thing, reinforcing the not alike line from earlier, and then says that he should just stick to kissing Eminem's ass instead of talking about his daughter in a brutal mic drop of a last line. I think this works really well in response to MG Kelly's mic drop last line in Rap Devil. So all in all for Eminem, we're looking at 15 points where a solid diss was crafted and delivered. I would say there was a much higher percentage of harder hits on this track. Eminem really went all out and just ripped MGK to shreds like a lot of people predicted would happen. To sum this all up, Eminem really takes the victory here, not just in terms of burns and disses in points scored, but also just in writing. If you look at the notable lines in Rap Devil compared to the notable lines from KILLSHOT, you can see that they're very different. It becomes incredibly obvious that Eminem is much more capable. His wordplay is extremely clever, and he's capable of stringing together insults in such an abstract way, while also weaving an amount of self-awareness through the track that just keeps it standing really solid and punching super hard. This is the reason I think most people seem to have the opinion that Eminem just slaughtered MGK. This is also 100% subjective, as most things with art tend to be, and brought to you by an Eminem fan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Were there other lines that you found notable from either track that you expected to see in here? Do you think MGK's track was better? Do you think Eminem won for different reasons? Either way, in any way, let me know below. Share this video if you agree with it or found it interesting. As always, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Never forget to smile, and I will see all of your beautiful faces later.